Abraham, I think Chris came in after you expressed your concerns about the aircraft carriers and Mr. Trump's actions related to them. Could you again summarize and?
Yeah, there was an article that was released about 3 days ago saying that there were two very large naval fleets, one positioned on the East Coast and along the entire East Coast, and another one positioned along the West Coast, consisting of multiple aircraft carriers, destroyer groups, lots of hardware, and the buildup of military forces in the bases nearby, and saying it's directly due to this voter thing going on, because I guess, what the article was saying, they're having a lot of doubts about the stability of the country, and they're expecting either an invasion or to repel an invasion. Something like that, and I distributed the article. I put around to a lot of people, and they all disappeared.
Abraham, thank you for that summary. You've got a lot of background noise there. Is there comments or questions about Abraham's concern about aircraft carriers being mobilized here?
If just Chris might bring a little additional to the table that could very well be related to Abraham's observations. It was reported by a very studied retired military fellow that I know here in Las Vegas that there were about 40, I think they were C-17, some sort of a large transport. I wasn't clear on which nomenclature it was. I did just a couple of moments ago drive by that location of Nellis Air Force Base to see if I could see a conflagration of those. However, I do know there is a separated housing facility of substantial size at Nellis where they could have, the people or the equipment could have been dropped and secreted at a different location, and the equipment they needed put away in perhaps a warehouse for later retrieval. Sorry for the noise. But these types of maneuvers are certainly concerning at the very least. Whether they're good or bad, we don't know. But being aware of what's going on, I think, is a part of doing due diligence and having critical analytical abilities to connect dots and supply intel of what's going on, so at least we have some sense. And there seemed to be a large grouping of manning up operations within the United States, which is domestic as opposed to foreign. Of course, it might be to oppose foreign agents, or it could be to assist foreign agents. It's just too early to tell in my estimation, but thank you for taking my information.
Thank you, Chris. Is there further comments or questions on this issue?
If I may, Michael in Florida, I think we need to keep perspective in mind here that there's a lot of information floating around. I've been hearing about this for about 2 weeks now, and there's really no way to prove it other than photographic or video evidence. We're even having people claim that the CIA was raided in Germany and they confiscated some of these voting servers in Germany. And this has not been proven, but it's been rumored for 2 weeks now on the internet. And there's just no substantiated evidence to prove it. And I think we need to be very careful. I'm not saying what Abraham is reporting not true, but we really need to find the evidence and let the evidence speak for itself. Otherwise, we're purely speculating. I yield. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Is there comments or questions on this issue of looming military dangers from anybody else? Hearing none.
If I may, I would like to kind of support what Michael said about when he said it, it kind of triggered with me. I think that has to be one of the the greatest jobs amongst all of these assemblies, conferences and stuff is that it should be our job to weed through the rumors and only report on what we know to be actual facts. I yield.
Thank you. Thank you. Or at least having, I think things like when we don't have proof beyond a reasonable doubt, I think it is good to at least look at solid evidence, even though it might not be beyond a reasonable doubt. And we certainly don't want to get entangled in sensationalism and go chasing rabbits, because our time and energies here are precious. We are trying to accomplish valuable work for actually saving our nation in a real tangible manner. So that is true, no doubt. But there's a balancing act that's kind of delicate there of whether or not we're just indulging in this series of speculation, or if we're just at least being alerted that there may be a concern here that we should at least be watching for more developments on. So it's kind of a balancing act, and I think each of us have to make our own decisions there.